Oh, good morning, y'all. Good morning. I'm Devin O'Day. Full disclosure, yesterday I was at the Omni Hotel where we do Taste of Nashville. It was so exciting and it's coming up. I cannot wait. We taped it and it's CRS Week Country Radio Seminar. So stars are all at the Omni. It's so much fun and it's so much excitement. And we had a bunch of guests, and that's coming up real soon on our Live from the Omni Taste of Nashville show. But we also have the Genesis Career College. They do my makeup. And I was so excited because they did my false eyelashes. I was all glammed up. So I was excited. And they said, "Oh yeah, they're on for like 3 days. You can wear them." Y'all, I tried to come in here and I'm in here on a wing and a prayer because I was pulling off those five. I looked like I had been attacked by spiders in the middle of the night. It was crazy. So I don't think I've learned the thing of sleeping in false eyelashes and making them look right the next day. But that's okay. There is somebody who does work with spiders and snakes and all sorts of crazy things out at the Nashville Zoo. And we're going to kick off our show with her. What's new at the zoo? It's usually with Jim Bar too, but now we have our precious Mallory Email who joins us. How are you?
Good morning. I'm coming to you live from our Dino-Trek trail.
Oh my gosh. I saw some of the footage, and I've got some I'm going to play a little bit later of the installing of the stuff.
Yes, it was quite the undertaking. So early last week, we had a team out with cranes and big trucks moving all of these dinos in. We have more than 20 life-size animatronic dinosaurs along this trail.
Oh my gosh. That's just crazy good. Just crazy good. And have you started hearing the rustle of the rumblings of the little kids whenever they get excited about seeing the dinosaurs?
Oh, absolutely. It is so much fun watching kiddos and families walk this trail and come face to face with what's behind me right now is a Triceratops family. And we've also got some other familiar favorites like Megalosauruses and T-Rexes. And I'm on the trail now, so you can probably hear some of the excitement around me.
The kids get so excited. I always say, especially like the homeschool kids get to experience things like, all that excitement, like for real. If you're going to teach dinosaurs, go see them in real life.
Exactly. Yeah, we got your real life dinosaurs here. And each dino has some educational signage in front of it, so you can learn all about the dinosaurs as well as get to see them up close and see how fun they are and see how big they are.
I love the kids behind you because they're you see them going up and they can get up close and personal with a lot of them. True, right?
Absolutely. We have one dino in the front of the trail where kiddos can climb on it and get all that energy out. And then along the trail, you can get really close and see these up close and personal. And you can hear them. A lot of them roar, and then all of them move or they blink their eyes. So it really is an immersive experience as you're checking out this exhibit.
Now, this is a little extra. If you've got a membership to the zoo, I think it's a $4 extra ticket.
Yes, so you can get into the zoo with general zoo admission or a membership, and then to get on the Dino-Trek trail, it is an additional $4 per person, and then kiddos under 2 are free.
But I will say that if you do have kids, grandkids, whatever, a family membership to the zoo is the way to go because there's always something new at the zoo. And throughout the show, it's this Waggin Tells Wednesday. So we're going to show some of the animals that you guys have at the zoo. It's going into the spring. So I'm sure you're going to have some zoo babies too.
Fingers crossed we're going to have some zoo babies, but you are so right. Zoo membership is a perfect way to experience the zoo, especially as these warmer months are coming and you want to enjoy that sunshine and get outside. This is the place to be.
And even on a day when it's like this, where it's cool and everything, it's not stopping the kids. They put a coat on and they go and see everything. It's so wonderful. NashvilleZoo.org. Mallory, you are the best. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much. Y'all have a good one.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye. Now, I told you that I had some footage of how they installed the dinosaurs. I want you to take a look at this. Can you imagine being there and watching them work those cranes and navigating all the trees? It's so cool because they put them right in the habitat, and I really, really love that. Well, I told you that throughout the show, their huge tortoises are amazing. And if you kind of go modern day dinosaur, they have some rhinos at the zoo. Oh, but keep watching. We've got more, and that is what's new at the zoo. We love it. NashvilleZoo.org to get information. It's one of our best family buys in this town.
Hockey in Music City just hits different. It's one big honky-tonk party. It's the sea of gold in the crowd, the goals, the saves, the celebrations. It's an experience like no other. Experience Predators hockey all season long. Visit NashvillePredators.com/season tickets and join the Loyal Legion today. That's NashvillePredators.com/tickets, and we'll see you at Bridgestone Arena.
Oh, the Predators, another family fun night to go. And we've got something special that we're going to have coming up March 23rd, but I'll have that a little bit later in the show as well. I promised you there is a dog recall, and I want to stay up on that because if there's been a dog recall, Purina has recalled voluntarily their brands with some issues regarding an overabundance of vitamin D. And so they recalled them, but this is one of my very favorite vets to follow on Instagram.
Purina has recently recalled one of their pet foods. Could your dog be affected? They were called Purina Pro Plant Veterinary EL Diets. It's a dog kibble due to vitamin D toxicity. Signs of vitamin D toxicity: vomiting, diarrhea, increased drooling, increased urination, increased drinking, and or kidney failure. If you're feeding the Purina Pro Plant Veterinary EL Diet, stop it. And if your dog is showing any of those clinical signs, especially increased drinking, increased urination, see your veterinarian as soon as possible. My last point, I just don't think the Veterinary Pro Plan prescription diets are very good quality foods. You shouldn't be feeding these.
See, that vet, I love him because he's like, no, don't be feeding that. Don't be feeding that. But the dog counselor, if you follow him on Instagram, it is also our friend Dean Miller, who's a great singer-songwriter, but he is a dog maestro. The FDA is warning owners. They just released the following list of food brands: Akana Signature, Taste of the Wild, 4Health, Earthborn Holistic, Blue Buffalo. There are 31 cases. Nature's Domain, From, Merrick, California Natural, Natural Balance, Origin, Nature's Variety, Nutrisource, Nutro, and Rachel Ray Nutrish. Now, there's not the whole brand, but they have some cases that have been issued that are an issue. So I want you to take a look at his list. That's the dog counselor on Instagram, or you can go to FDA dog food recall list, and it will give you the whole list. And if you have dogs and you're feeding kibble, then you need to know about those things. Well, it is also Irish Week, and there's so much going on. And my friend Brenda Willis joined us on our St. Patrick's Day edition live from the Omni. And John Dwyer got a chance to talk to her about all she has got planned for the Music City Irish Fest. Irish Fest time. Okay, that's not their jingle.
Keep your day job there, Debbie.
Brenda Willis, who will be my compadre on a trip to Ireland. We're taking a group April 15th. We'll be leaving Music City, but we're bringing Ireland here.
Yes, we are.
The week, Music City Irish Fest. You've done it for a while now, but you've kind of taken it to a whole new level this year.
Well, you know why? Because I was sick of flooding and snow and tornadoes and all of the natural disasters that were happening over all those years. And then, of course, off 3 years for COVID, but we're back. We're back in a big way.
Are back.
Yes.
You're going to be at the Opry Plaza, right?
Yes, we are going to be. So, free festival on St. Patrick's Day, March 17th, and on the 18th, from noon until about 10 p.m.-ish. But don't not get your tickets for the Opry, because we have wonderful Irish artists that are going to be collaborating as guests on the Opry. So we have Jig Jam, which is a bluegrass band out of Ireland, and we have Eileen Ivers, who's she's called the Jimi Hendrix of the violin. She's just a rocker on the violin. She was in Riverdance. Yeah. So you may have seen her when you saw Riverdance. We have Rory Makem, whose father was Tommy Makem, the legendary Tommy Makem and the Clancy Brothers, who sang all the traditional songs. We have Shane Hennessy, who you know.
I love Shane Hennessy more than Lunch and Jewelry. So amazing.
Brilliant guitar player. Like, think Chet Atkins meets Tommy Emmanuel type of thing.
That's exactly what I was thinking, because it's really that combo together.
And then we also had the lovely Claire Cunningham, who we're going to meet today on the show.
who just grew up in Ireland.
Yes,
Yeah.
In Ireland.
she's from
So
Ireland and
there's
had a
thing
dream
here.
of coming to Nashville to write songs and be a musician, and she's here.
So what's your? How'd you start this? What's your background in doing all
So
this? I mean,
it's kind of a funny story. My husband was a wrestler, and we
it's
thought,
funny already.
Well, we were no, not like that
Coming down
kind of
from the
wrestling,
high
like the
bar
real,
and
no, the
proposed to you
real
and-
like
okay.
Olympic stuff. And
Oh.
we were having children, and we thought we'd have our boys wrestle, and then we had some girls at the beginning, and we saw Riverdance shortly after. Jess was 5, my oldest was 5 or 6 at the time, and we saw Riverdance. We came out and we're like, I don't know what that was, but yes, that was just awesome. And so I got out that old thing called a phone book, if you remember those.
Yeah.
And I opened it and I looked for the Irish dancing schools, and I found one, and they started taking Irish dance. And 2 weeks after their first class, we went to our first ever Irish music festival in Grant Park. It's called the Chicago Celtic Fest back in the day. And I saw this phenomenon, this culture, this whole world that existed that I didn't even know about. And so they started in Irish dancing, and then we bought a little $7 penny whistle, and then they started playing, and then we got a fiddle, and then this whole thing just started snowballing to the point that we became an Irish family band and started touring, and then won the world championships, and this crazy stuff started happening somehow.
Somehow, it's
Somehow.
because immense talent in this family. Okay. Now, first of all, we need to bottle whatever this is, because how many children do you have?
I have 12 children.
12 children. Okay.
Stop
My
it.
party piece.
This
my
is a
party
miracle. Unbelievable. And they're all so amazingly
But think about this for a
talented.
second. If you ask any Irish Catholic family, going back a generation, ask them how many kids they have. I'm the lazy one.
Yeah,
I got you.
Way to mail it in.
12 is a smaller family to them. So it's just this, I don't know. I'm just a generation late, that's all.
There you go. Well, you know what? I love what you bring to the Music City Irish Fest every year. And are we going to get to see Jessica Willis Fisher perform this year?
I hope so. The Opry doesn't really book their artists super far out, so they're still in the process of booking some artists, but we have some really cool things happening. So one of our Irish guests, Eileen Ivers, is going to do a collaboration with Ricky Skaggs on St. Patrick's Day.
Nothing but a
They're
name
going to set
drop.
that building on fire, I
just-
think.
this is fantastic.
And then the Irish band coming from Tullamore and Tipperary, that is the bluegrass band. Go figure that one out. They are going to get to collaborate with the legendary Del McCurry.
Oh, wow. That's going to be like an explosion.
I know. And so we're super excited. And then there's some other things still coming up, and we're still working some of those details out. But
Opry.com to get those tickets.
Yes.
And there's tons of free music and food and experience on the Opry Plaza. So the 17th and 18th. We got to give a nod to the sponsors, because you always bring a whole plethora of those. And without the sponsors, that wouldn't happen. Who are some of the people bringing us this?
I feel like the big thing is a lot of places around the United States celebrate St. Patrick's Day in a very inauthentic way. Unauthentic, what's the correct grammar there? I don't know.
We'll go with that.
But it is get drunk and wear green. And that's not what Ireland is about. I mean, we were just talking about the drinks. It's about the fellowship. It's about the face-to-face human interaction. They're a very face-to-face culture. And so we bring in authentic food and drink and music and dancing and all these wonderful things. And so that's what my sponsors really like, and that's why they're excited. So Ireland.com, Tourism Ireland, is one of our biggest sponsors, and anything that you want to find out about traveling to Ireland and what to do when you get there and how to get there and all the best places to see is at Ireland.com. So they're one of our biggest sponsors. Of course, Guinness came in and gave us a nice bit too, because you got to drink the real stuff, not the green beer, but the real stuff, so that's very exciting. We are also doing something else for our community that we feel is very important. So we are actually doing a blood drive at the festival. Now, please, I'm just going to ask you, please donate blood before you start drinking.
Yeah, there's an order to this.
And you might even want to just...
The drunken blood is not what we're looking for.
So you might just want to even maybe hold off drinking like till the next day or something if you're going to donate blood. But no, so Blood Assurance is our community partner, and they supply over 20 hospitals in the Nashville area, sole supplier of their blood and blood products. And so we're going to do a blood drive there promoting Blood Assurance. So we want everybody to know that.
That's so good.
And we also had Gray Line come in, and they are our transportation partner. So you see the wonderful Gray Line tours and buses around town. So you want to give them a try. And then our wonderful host hotel is the Hutton. And they have come in and just been wonderful partners.
This is a family-friendly event, yes?
Very family friendly. As a matter of fact, we have a kids area, and that is sponsored by the Tennessee Renaissance Festival, which is so exciting. And everybody's thinking, now, how does that fit? Well, they, of course, all the weekends in May, they have it down in Triune, and then they always have an Irish weekend. And I was like, this is a perfect fit. So they're going to have bouncy castles out there for the kids, and this one's really funny. So, you know the old-fashioned kissing booth, which is like, it's politically...
familiar. Back in the day.
Back in the day. Well, it's like politically incorrect, but it's like medically incorrect, right? You know, now. So I thought it would really be fun to have a twist on that and have a kissing booth kiss the Blarney Stone booth. So, so I went to the Nashville Children's Theater, and they are building us a wall of Blarney Castle so you can get your picture. Now, we don't have to kiss it. That would still, again, be probably not the best thing. But we're going to have a place where you can, like, be up near the Blarney Stone and the wall. Do you know what the Blarney Stone is?
Yes.
Do you know what it
It's
is?
a stone that's named Blarney.
It is not.
Old Blarney. And then,
It is
He
not.
doesn't have a clue. No clue.
To get to the Blarney Stone, you actually have to climb up 2 or 3 or 4 stories in an old castle, beautiful old castle. And you get all the way up to the battlements on the top. And then you sit down and you bend over backwards over the place where they used to pour the boiling oil, you know, down on the enemies. And you kiss the wall on the far side of that. That's the Blarney Stone.
are you going to do that on your trip? Do you think?
No, I am
is that
not,
part of
because
it?
I have heard all sorts of
Because
things
I
they
would
do
start
About what
with-
happened?
to the Blarney Stone. The natives, I'm not even going to say what they do to that Blarney Stone, but I'm not going to kiss it. My lips not going to touch the Blarney
But
Stone.
do you know what you get? What do you get?
Backache? I don't know.
No.
The gift of Blarney.
The gift of Blarney.
Which is?
Well, you already have it.
I've done.
He doesn't need to kiss anything. He's already got the gift of Blarney. I'm just going to
I
say.
play dumb well, don't I? Yeah. Oh my goodness.
So that's what we have going on. We'll have the dogs, the Irish wolfhounds. We'll have the dogs that you can meet and pet. I know, it's going to be fun.
Music City Irish Fest. Is there a website where people can get information?
MusicCityIrishFest.com. How about that?
See, I love it. Thank you so much. And thank you for bringing some amazing guests to our show today, because really, one call to this woman, Brenda Willis, knows if it has to do with Ireland and Irish anything, she knows what's going on. I keep...
Hi, I'm Stephanie Miller from Mornings on Main Street. Join us March 23rd at Bridgestone Arena with the Nashville Predators for Main Street Media Night. I know Devin O'Day will be here.
You know I will be, Stephanie. Plus, you can register for a Predators prize pack. They were going to call it the Hockey Hootenanny, but they changed. So that it's going to have 4 tickets and food vouchers. You got to register to win.
We're looking forward to seeing all of our Main Street Sports Today fans, right, Chris?
Absolutely, we are. And we could not do this without, of course, our owner, Dave Gould, and our friends here at Smashville.
Speaking of,
Where is Dave?
we will see you March 23rd for Main Street Media Night. Let's go, Prince!
Do I have the wrong night?
Okay, can you shake a paw? You could shake a paw. Oh, and could you speak a little? Oh, very clever. Yeah, that's very clever. You want some apple? And what can you do?
The little paw.
Show me all your tricks. You shake a paw?
Yeah, I know this one.
Very good.
There's always a retriever. Have you noticed the little dogs are always trying so hard, and the Goldens or the Labs are always going, okay, here's my paw. That's our daily giggle, and it is brought to us by our friends at 50 Forward. For people who are like me, 50 and over, there are centers all around Middle Tennessee, 50forward.org to get information. And they want you to be part of the National Institute of Health's research study called All of Us. Join allofus.org/50forward, because we want to know that the things that they're testing are tested on people like us, not just 20-year-old white guys or 30-something-year-old black men or somebody. They want all of us covered. And this a drug that might affect a 20-year-old one way might affect an over 50-year-old another way. And so that's why they want to make sure that our statistics are in, so that when there are tests and there's a research study, that we are included. And I love that. Speaking of inclusion, we have an amazing organization here in Middle Tennessee called Narrow Gate, and they are our motivation moment for today.
In woodworking, you start with a tree that's dead, it's fallen down, and it's good for nothing but to be burned, really. But then somebody comes along and cuts it up, works on it, takes away all of the ugly parts, and then slowly and sometimes painfully turns it into something beautiful.
We are Bill and Stacy Spencer. We're the executive directors and founders of Narrowgate Foundation here in Middle Tennessee. The beautiful thing about the offer that Narrowgate makes to these guys is that it's really simple. If for 8 months you could shut down all the expectations of life, you have no bills to pay, you have no stresses and social environment to worry about, everything's provided, everything's protected, and for 8 months, you get to ask 2 questions. Who am I? Really? Who am I? And why am I here? If you could walk away with the answer to those 2 questions, would you take that opportunity?
One of the things that makes Narrowgate Lodge so transformational is that it's completely experiential, and it's not just an intellectual pursuit of God, it's a learning how to live in a lifestyle of discipleship. And so young men are transformed because it's 24/7, 365, and they're living with their teachers. It's not that they just get church on Sunday and the rest of the week they're on their own. Like, it's every day. And so in our leather shop, in our wood shop, and we also have a metal shop and automotive shop, where the young men get to take their spiritual lessons and apply them. So what does it look like to do all things for the glory of God? What does it look like to submit to one another as unto the Lord? You know, all these biblical lessons that we teach, what does it look like to actually live that out? And then for young men who show an aptitude and an interest, we're able to offer them a temporary employment or a permanent employment situation at Narragate Artisans, which is our business in Franklin, Tennessee.
But at the end of the day, it's just one thing. It's just one thing. We help people discover who they are and why they're here. And the answer to all of that is always found in Christ.
I realized that this passion that he's put in me for craftsmanship and for fine woodworking specifically, he has been using and can use continually to show what he's able to do to us. My job is not to make furniture or to make guitars. It's to make disciples. Getting to take a part in God's work of healing them and bringing peace into their life, that'll change you.
When I see our guys, they're trees of righteousness. Now, they may only be a little sapling right now, right? Because they're 18, 19, 20 years old. But what are they going to look like when they're 40 and 50 and 60? And God gave me a picture that it's going to be like, I'm going to be like a child running through these huge oaks of righteousness that have been planted, lots of trees that are producing fruit for the kingdom.
I think it's funny because a lot of people want to separate ministry and business. And there just is no separation. The Great Commission's pretty simple. In your going, as you go, make disciples. That's it. So it doesn't really matter if you're doing that in a market space, in an office, if you're doing it on a job site, if you're doing it in your family, if you're doing it as ministry on this. Look, none of that matters. Stay connected to God and connected to people, and let that be the guide that leads you into the ministry you're supposed to do right then. If we just did those two, we'd change everything.
I love them. Bill, it used to be the song plugger for Coal Miners Music, Loretta Lynn's publishing company. And that's where I met him, and he felt called to do something different. He and his wife started it. There's so many programs for recovery and that are amazing, but this is not for recovery. This is for people who, it started with, they realized they had friends that they didn't have children, and they had friends that had sons that were kind of drifting and didn't have a purpose, didn't have a focus, they just were at a place where they could have chosen the wrong choices. And it just was that moment that they stepped in, and Narrowgate changed something for them. All right, real quick before we get out of here, I want you to see this tour.
Hi, I'm Katie Gregory, and I'm a herpetology keeper. And this is Calhoun, an 8-year-old Aldabra tortoise, and he loves his scratches.
Isn't he cute? And oh, and this is like dinosaurs in the real. At our Nashville Zoo, nashvillezoo.org. That's our show for today. Be safe, be kind, and remember, most of all, you are loved. Have a great rest of your day. And thank you all for interacting. Angie and Steve and Elizabeth, all y'all, have a great rest of your day.
We are home. We are family. We are things to do and place to see. Mom and pops, local grown, small business Saturdays. We are Main Street, Main Street, Main Street. We are your